What's going on, guys? Want to show you this Everyday Barlow from Northwoods Knives. Yeah, they if you heard about these were hit or miss. I think most of them were a miss. Kind of sad because in theory it seemed like this was going to be one of the ultimate home run working knives. So let's get this out of the way. This is the leather slip pouch that it comes in. These Northwood knives, if you ever see that little symbol there, are only available at Knives Ship Free. There's some free advertisements for you, Derek. You can send my check in the mail. It's alright. Or not. Anyways, let's get a look at this. This is the Everyday Barlow. And in its initial conception, sounds awesome. A Barlow, a traditional Barlow. Right? Love me some Barlows. A Barlow style knife means it has this longer metal bolster up front, no butt cap on the back, right? A working knife. So what would you want a working slip joint to have? Some people's complaint is, most of them have carbon steels or 1095. Some people might want a super steel, right? Well, these have the CPM, not regular 154 cm, CPM 154. So a beautiful steel. A lot of high-end custom knives come in this CPM 154. It's a great steel. I have a few knives in it. I absolutely love it. Very fine grain. Can get pretty hard. I think working hardness, you can get it up to around 60, 62 maybe. Going off the top of my head. And it will hold an edge for a long time, and because it's such fine grain steel, and then especially using the CPM process, the powdered metallurgy process, you get an extra fine edge on this. CPM 154 is a beautiful steel. But to me, it all fell apart after that. It really did. And to the owner here, I have not carried or used this knife. This is my cousin's. He let me know what he thought about it. Only carried it and used a few times, I believe. But yeah, you're looking at it. You can tell these were Queen made. Queen at one time was putting out some of the best slip joints, and then somebody left and went and started GEC. Seemed like after that, things just kind of went off, That joint looks pretty good up there. I wouldn't knock that. What I would knock is that gap there, that gap there, the gap there, the gap there, the gap that rides all the way down this whole side here. Do you see it? These are not cheap knives. Look at that. You could drive a truck through that gap. The pins that are nowhere near flush. I mean, it's like they polish these scales and then pin these on afterward. Look at this. It's terrible. Not acceptable at all. They did do a pretty good job of matching these bolsters up, believe it or not. It's a little bit off, but I wouldn't complain for that. I really wouldn't. I'm not going to start to complain until you get something like this knife. I've already showed you on this video, or maybe this video is coming out after this video. You get something like that, yeah, I'm going to have to say something. But if you're pretty much smooth, I'm not going to have any knock on it. So I wouldn't, no complaints there, but yeah, blade centering, way off. That right there tells the whole story. That's a sad sight. These should have never left Northwoods Knives for full price. I understand you could have sold them as a working knife. Take the hit. And I don't know. I really don't know. These should not have left the factory, really. They definitely shouldn't have left Knife Ship Free. I'll tell you that. In conception, though, it's good. And they all are kind of cosmetic flaws. The only thing that really is another knock on this knife, a very, very light pull. Like maybe 3 to 4. And the action, I know you can't feel it, but the walk and talk is not nice and tight. Even GC's cheapest slip joints. Do I have another one here? I don't think so. Their cheapest slip joints. Did you hear that? Snaps into place. Snaps with authority. This is probably a 7. Oh, and look at that too. Blade centered. GC did take a little bit of a hit from me every time I show this knife. That spring's not completely terminated flush, but still a lot better than this. Overall. Keep in mind though, like $55, maybe $60. This was like $100 and something. This was like $55 or $60. Listen to this action. Pops open. Pops open. These are working knives. This. It feels muddy and loose. It hits about the middle point. And there's almost play in there right there. It's just a weak back spring. Weak back spring, gaps all over. Queen, what are you doing? Derek, how'd this one get out of your shop? Out of your place of sale, your knife ship free? I don't know. What are we gonna do? Conception though, you think, yeah, awesome. CPM 154 on a Barlow with a sheep's foot blade and Northwoods? Yep, sign me up. But they didn't follow through. So I don't know if you guys have this knife or any experience with the Queen made Everyday Barlow. What do you think? The bone is beautiful. If the pins weren't sticking out, you know, but the actual dyed bone is beautiful. It's a nice design. I like it. If you were just looking for a knife to carry and use, I don't think you could knock any of my complaints down on that. This is perfectly functional. This does not scrape the side of the liner, although it's very close. And the gaps in there, you know, are only cosmetic. This you could sand down and repolish. You really shouldn't have to. If I had to fix this knife though, I mean, I could probably fix that. I don't think I could fix blade centering that's that far off. And I definitely can't tighten up a back spring. But you shouldn't have to do that. This was a very, very lightly used knife. Yeah, I don't know. I hate to do negative reviews, but I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's a great knife, just these 2 issues. No, don't. Do not buy the Everyday Barlow. Not based off this example. And I have heard the other ones have not been that much better. I don't know. Queen, Derek, if you guys want, you can get a hold of me. Maybe I'll send you an email. So it's for my cousin. He was going to sell it for like a super cheap price, like half off. But maybe we'll see if we can get it fixed for him. I don't know. I just don't know. Alright, here it is next to the 15 and we'll get out of here. It bums me out to make this video. It does. So there it is, about the same size as the GC 15. That is the Northwoods Everyday Barlow. I wish they'd take another swing at this idea, but use GEC. Do the 154 CM. Do this exact pattern again, but have it produced by a GEC. I don't know if that could ever happen, but I would like to see this knife done right. You know, or Queen, step up your game, have better quality control, and then, you know, put out a good product. Alright guys, have a good one. Don't let me bum you out. I'm still a happy guy. My cousin's happy guy. You know, it's just a knife, not the end of the world. But it just is what it is. See ya.